specifically the updated version on Xbox Game Pass, which is about as good as any old retro shooter from '93 can get, with its weapon variety and plethora of secrets. Doesn't mean the original unmodified version holds any ground, but since I haven't touched that, let's pretend it and move on. One of the most creative and beautiful 2D platformers of its time, and even now, that is ultimately destroyed by literally untested difficulty that makes Dark Souls look like a toddler's game. Please play Rayman Redemption instead. A great, solid benchmark for the pioneering of 3D platformers that, in spite of its age, is well worth playing even today. I sure hope Mario stays a relatively small and niche franchise from a kind-hearted, consumer-oriented company. It's a slowed-down Sonic's arse with somehow less maneuverability. Platformer devs must have been really angry back in the 90s. Fixes everything broken with the first game and expands and improves on it in almost every way. My personal favourite from the original trilogy. Crash 2 again, but with more varied settings and added speedrunning as part of the game. I sure hope future games keep collecting and speedrunning challenging, but not in a too frustratingly hard way. Masterful retro shooter that is retrospectively both a blessing and a curse on the genre. I had a disc for this game on PC back when I was very young that was so broken my parents genuinely thought this game was a virus. Anyway, very good game, and avoid the PS1 version. Now with voice acting, but actually okay voice acting, plus a love it or hate it open world which I personally didn't mind. Started playing this on Steam as an adult. While it easily has the strongest story of the Sonic franchise, in the most loving way possible, the reason why people adore this game is nostalgia. My earliest memories of this game was playing it as my first PS2 game when I was 9 and mindlessly running over pedestrians, not knowing what I was doing at the bemusement of my parents. I've also got my driving test booked for this autumn. Wait, how can there be 2 Crash 4s? Anyway, this game is fine. Funky music and Mark Hamill, but too many stupid decisions and a bit overambitious with not much results. It's alright. The Sandhawk though. Only complaints are that by the time I've started jamming to a good song on the radio, I've already reached my destination. That and I stopped playing because an NPC kept dying whenever they exited the car and softlocking me every time. Peak Rayman. Peak platformers even. Don't ask me how this game was rated 3+ though. Pro tip, make sure you give your character a silly name at the start, like Derek Jerrick. It makes one of the plot twists later on all the more funny. Still some of the best quality Simpsons writing for its time, and in spite of being a PG version of Grand Theft Auto, still has characters yelling swears and slurs to pedestrians. An okay kart racer, whose mechanic was fun, still waiting for Mario Kart 8 to credit them for their anti-grav idea. Much like Sonic Adventure 2, the reason why people like this colourful game is purely because of nostalgia. I am definitely one of those people. I like this absolute mess of a game very, very much. The game that hooked me into my car phase when I was about 11, and that Subaru Impreza rev sound still gives me lovely goosebump wobblies in my body to this day. Fun, different, and goofy as hell take on Crash Bandicoot. Shame how broken it was though, although the bugs just add to its identity at this point. Masterpiece. Hands down, peak FPS that still holds up to this day. Any game that runs off Source Engine is basically this game. That includes you, Apex. Most poorly aged movie tie-in LEGO game by far. But come on, it's LEGO Star Wars. Also, thanks for spoiling Revenge of the Sith early for everybody. Fun fact, this game released on the 5th of May 2005, making that day definitively Revenge of the 5th. And thanks for spoiling the actual movie before its release yet again, but this time by quite literally leaking its own footage. A racing platformer hybrid that's fun and simultaneously not fun at all. No, I will not be elaborating. Sega's answer to the phrase, "Be careful what you wish for." Yes, there are people who enjoy this dumpster fire purely out of nostalgia, though it is arguably the best working early 3D Sonic game when you take out the weird inclusion of guns. I am, once again, one of those people that really enjoys this game out of nostalgia. Whatever you do, do not look up the soundtrack of this game and listen to the track Underlow at 2 minutes 06 in front of your parents and/or significant other. You have been warned. Peter Jackson's big long title is a fun, solid shooter film tie-in with Jack Black being Jack Black and his 90% Adrian Brody simulator with a gun rather than the titular Kong, which is actually a good thing. Kleiner deadass about to give the After Hours talk with a world newly freed from dictatorship. I sure hope this new episodic format pays off and keeps Valve productive and not procrastinate their future releases. Everyone forgets about this game because of the complete saga, but my childhood was 100%ing this way before your blue mini kits and your power-ups. You know what? It's an okay party game. But screw you for killing Rayman 4 and the Rayman franchise in general. Pros are they let you beat the shit out of the bunnies out of vengeance. Stop telling me skill is a factor when this game is 95% luck-based. You're fooling no one. To promote the upcoming Orange Box, Valve teamed up with Peggle to trick us into thinking Counter-Strike would be part of the Orange Box. Should have been its own franchise. Also, take a shot for every single movie reference you see in this game. You can tell Valve peaked when a game remained popular and refused to die for so long that even they can't be asked to keep the game maintained from hackers. Then again, it's not like they're known for procrastination when half of any updates in the past few years have all been community-driven. So, now what? Just please play this game if you haven't already. It's a masterpiece. Lady Dimitrescu wishes she could sass like GLaDOS, and there'll be an even nicer cake if you do play it. Honest. That's right, kids. Even Mario can be emotionally moving sometimes. I sure hope future games keep— okay, I'll stop this now. Just the first two LEGO Star Wars games, but combined and arguably better. Makes me miss stage-based levels from a single hub world from the good old days. Hold your horses. This game came out before Indiana Jones? Well, I still enjoyed this game a lot, and Danny Elfman's soundtrack is absolutely goated. Solid. The Star Wars Easter eggs were fittingly fun. While I did really enjoy the set pieces from the PS2 version in particular, either version was still one of the first games that made younger me feel like an absolute badass. What Crash of the Titans should have been, when the humor and animations actually kinda hit the mark. The megaphone intercoms amused the hell out of me when I was a kid, and had me in stitches when I learned I could time slow them. I specifically played the PS2 version as a kid, and I did appreciate its simplicity compared to the 7th Gen counterparts. Gaining collectibles was all time-based, and the last section before the final boss was actually doable. I still find it weird to this day whenever a video game audibly calls me out by my real name. Also, rest in peace Colin McRae and Ken Block. Firstly, make a fantastic and fun base game. Then let modders go absolutely full hammer bastardizing it in every conceivable way. And that is how you create prolonged game longevity. Just ask TF2. Oh my god, LEGO games have now added physics props to the game, how revolutionary! Still, while it wasn't the best, this was still a big step up from past LEGO games with its own open world of collectibles and world interactions. The game that walked so that little nightmares could run, specifically to the right. Hello, I would like to contact child support.
It starts with one thing, I don't know why, it doesn't even matter how hard you try. Keep that in mind, I designed this rhyme to explain in due time. All I know, time is a valuable thing. Watch it fly by as the pendulum swings. Watch it count down to the end of the day, the clock takes life away. So unreal, didn't look out below, watch the time go.